gonna go with that. I am Phil today, joined by Paul. So I'm the one that's gonna. So this week I'm the one that's gonna be raving about Star Trek V. I'm the one that's gonna be raving about how Yngwie Malmsteen is the worst person in the world, even though he's the best guitarist in the world. And I'm going to be watching Paul, who is in Discord and sounds a lot older than usual, play Skyrim. So how you doing today, Paul?
I would justify that Phil's always right about Cash Money hating redhead.
You're right. I am always right.
Yep. Bill McCracken's always right.
Nah, slip of the tongue is what that was. And
Cash McCracken, and things have gone up. Going from there.
Yeah. Uh-oh. My iPad is not connecting to my StreamYard. It's okay.
And just so people know, Crit has been a bad boy, and unfortunately, I've yanked his internet services for a week.
How could you?
If you want to hurt somebody, you just yank their internet service for a week.
You are a monster, Phil.
Sometimes you have to do what you have to do. He's got to be banging his head against walls, not being able to be on the internet, play game, talk.
I'm sure. If he really wanted to, he'd figure out a way to join us. Epic John in the chat, my brother, saying, Master Paul, you disappoint me. Why do I disappoint you, John, other than every other reason we already know? Alright. Let's make this character how I like it.
There's nothing worse in the world than to have your own flesh and blood pop into your stream. Yeah. Just let you know how much you disappoint him.
Yeah.
Though, I got bad news coming from your state. They kind of disappointed me.
How so?
Oh, don't think you're in Fairfax County.
I am not in Fairfax County. That is kind of across the mountain from us.
Across the mountain. Oh, they're deciding, which is mind-boggling to me, but they had a vote, so, yeah.
You know what? We're going dyed red this time, like actual red, not orange. Because why not?
Well, that doesn't look reddish. Well, then I'm going by your YouTube because, you weren't kind enough to put,
Oh. Alright, give me a second. Give me a second. I will
It's okay, because I understand, Phil, how old you are.
You're gonna wear me out over that tonight, aren't you? and apparently I disappoint John because I'm playing Skyrim.
There's nothing in this world like playing Skyrim.
No, there is not.
As I told people many times, we can stop Skyrim, but me and Paul can probably go through the entire YouTube, and there's probably about 5 and 6 people, just not counting Elder Scrolls. Forget Elder Scrolls. Skyrim alone, streaming right as we speak.
And he's right. So yeah, Phil is right. So that makes me right.
I'm surprised that Phil, aka Paul, hasn't downloaded and bought Oblivion since it has Patrick Stewart in there.
What are you talking about? I'm Phil. I hate Patrick Stewart. I think he's Snoke.
He is Snoke. Does play a good part in Oblivion.
By the way, did you see the meme that Michael made yesterday of photoshopping Snoke's face onto Captain Pike from the Menagerie?
I didn't see that one.
It is so good in all the wrong ways.
But let me finish telling you what people in Fairfax decided. Mind you, I will say a majority of them people aren't, how can I put it politely, Virginians born in Virginia. They probably are.
I know 100% what you're talking
Yeah.
about there.
Well, they decided to rename the streets or the highway up there. Well, Jackson and Lee.
Uh
It's
huh.
controversial.
Of course.
Uh, okay, I have no problem with the federal government, though they're the ones that promoted the. How can I put it nicely? The healing of putting statues not just on battlefields, but other places. Uh, but now it's a reversal, and I have no problems if Paul, if your county decided, hey, well, that's a bygone era. Let's move on and uh, move certain things to a certain area, and that's fine. If it's coming from people from Virginia, not coming from people that moved, especially in the northern part of Virginia and around Alexandria, that aren't really from Virginia. They're from New York and New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Uh, I can tell you this. I can go to York, Pennsylvania, and sit in the middle of the town square is a statue of John Reynolds, who died at the Battle of Gettysburg.
I see.
Now, because if I move into York, Pennsylvania, being I'm from Delaware, can I say, even though my state was loyal to Union, but we did have some that fought for the South, go in there and say, you know what, that statue needs to come down. It doesn't represent me. The way I see it, if I move into another state, I really should not have the say of what people do or represent in their state. I mean, you couldn't do that to somebody in New York, but then moving to New York, going to Virginia, they're now complaining about it. My thing to you is, if they have this problem with Virginia and their history and its culture, why are they moving into Virginia?
Because logic does not exist.
There you go. It's not my disagreement over what they're trying to say and do. It's more about how they're doing it and what are they representing. More of that.
Makes sense.
Yep. And you hear this line, well, there's more statues in the south of the Confederacy than anywhere in the United States. Well, there's a reason for that. Where were most of the battles fought? In the Civil War.
Virginia specifically.
There was a gentleman in Delaware. We had a famous family, DuPont, the company, but there's a family behind it, and they're still pretty powerful to this day. Back in during the Civil War, there was he ended up becoming a senator, and we call him Senator DuPont.
Mm-hmm.
But his best friend fought for the South. He was from North Carolina. They went to school together. They actually fought against each other in the Shenandoah with Sherman.
Wow.
The burnings and all that. His friend got killed. That was very tragic. Then he was ordered by Phil Sheridan to turn the cannon in revenge on the BMI Institute.
Oh, hold up. Okay, I've heard that story numerous times because
he cried. He literally cried because he was a teacher, and he didn't believe that performed any military benefit whatsoever other than revenge.
Yeah.
And then he was pretty much told that if he did not fire the cannon at BMI, that he would be court-martialed. And he did it reluctantly. Never spoke to Phil Sheridan ever again, even after the war, even though he was a Republican. Barely spoke to Grant because of it, and did not talk to Sherman because they were all buddies, them three. After the war, out of his own pocket, he sent money to the VMI Institute so they could rebuild. Out of his own pocket.
I have heard this whole story from my friend Nate that I work with, because he volunteers his time with the with the Newmarket Battlefield, which is right
Yep,
across the
that's
mountain
right.
from me. And of course, the Newmarket Battlefield is very, very, very closely linked to VMI.
Yep,
So
and
I've
he
heard all
fought
of
there.
this.
He fought there. After the war, there was a monument raised to his friend, a fellow. It was a general, Ramser, I believe his name was, and he went there. And when his friend got killed after the war, he made sure his wife and his child were taken care of. That his daughter was able to go through school. He forked the money out of his own pocket. Don't forget, he's a DuPont, so he's rich.
Uh huh.
But more importantly, he dedicated the monument to him. Here is a Union veteran. He fought against his friend, but here he is doing the very thing that people today are trying to tear down. And believe it or not, the DuPont family was torn. There were some people that from Delaware, from the DuPont family, that supported the South. They really did. Like I said, it was a civil war. Can you pick a good side? Can you pick a bad side? Yeah, you person has to make up that mind.
Of course.
But I will give them this: the DuPont family, when there was, I guess you can call it segregation, they paid for African American schools to be built and maintained. They were top-notch schools. It wasn't like other places where they had inferior schools. But the DuPont family, out of their own pocket, paid to have them schools top-notch. They were just as good as any white school you could have went here in Delaware.
Wow.
Yeah, so, yeah, the Civil War was fought 100 years ago. We don't have to refight it like they are trying to do today. I don't see the reason for it. I don't have any problem if someone says, they should put a little plaque explaining what they think, what their views are. Put it on a plaque. If they want to move monuments not from the battlefield, but from other places and put it in a specific area, a park just dedicated to it, that's fine. I don't have a problem with it. But to absolutely remove a monument and destroy it, or hide it, I am not in favor of. And definitely nothing off of a battlefield. No.
Agreed.
Yeah. And you know me, Paul. I will stick up for anybody and whoever their background is.
Who was the motorcycle in the background?
That's my neighborhood. Where we're at, behind me, even though it's a development, we have 3 businesses. One is called Hetritures, which is a repair shop for automotive people, and they're pretty quiet, not much problems.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a Dairy Queen, not much problem. But they put a Texas Roadhouse about 20 years ago, and that place gets jam-packed. Why? I don't know. I've never been there. Don't care for, I make my own steak. But yeah, the street going towards there is almost like a highway. It has so many cars on it. And unfortunately, we're an end unit of the development in the section, and since we're on the end of the street, we got 3-way traffic, front, side, back.
Wow.
So when one of my neighbors decided to rev up his motorcycle, I really hear it.
I believe it. So, let me ask you this one now. I want to talk a little bit more about Sabaton, because you've already told me the whole story behind the winged.
Have I made
Two
you a fan?
Stars. Yes, you have. But now I'm kind of curious what you know about some of their other songs. For example, their song, I was listening to it today, Blood of Bannockburn.
That one I don't know. After this, I'm going to give you a stream where they have their own, Sabaton has their own history channel, so that it tells you about their song. but they don't go into depth to all their songs. Let's just say maybe 3 or 4 an album.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, that one I probably heard it, but I don't know much about it.
All right.
But if there was one, the Dead, where there's a battle of World War One between the Russians and the Germans, and the Germans used gas. The Russians didn't have gas masks at the time. So the Germans thought they'll use the gas and they'll be, we walk through and no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Russians, even though they didn't have no gas masks and were practically drowning, but that's what mustard gas does. Your lungs fill with liquid.
Oh. Ooh.
But these Russians didn't stop, even though they were dying. They literally were fighting, and the Germans thought that these were dead rising from the dead type of deal. Yeah.
Talk about something being metal AF.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, every album they do, I think it's they found their niche. Every album they do is basically all their songs has something historical about it. So they have the Christmas Miracle, World War One, where both sides, technically, the average private stopped the war.
Of course.
Generals on both sides weren't too happy with that, but they stopped the war and called a truce. And they call it the Christmas Miracle.
Wow. Yeah, that is honestly one of the only things that I know about World War One, because of course everyone knows about World War Two, everyone knows about D-Day, everyone knows about Vietnam. World War One, I really don't remember that much about.
It's kind of getting pushed to I don't want to say ancient history, but the past. I have a grandfather on one side that fought in World War One. I always felt bad because he had fought in the Italian-Turkish War. He got out. He was already married at the time. So he decides he's going to join his brother in the United States. And lo and behold, World War One breaks out, and what happens? They draft him, made him a citizen right then and there, and send his poor butt back, all the way back to
Oof.
One thing, Paul, at the time, Italy was on the same side as the United States in World War One. He could have took a leave to go to Italy to go see his wife and family. He never did. Never did. We never knew why, but some people in my family speculated that he didn't want to upset the people in his unit because here he could go home and visit family. They could not. Don't want to get resentment, especially if you're in the battlefield.
Of course. So again, going back to Sabaton.
Sure.
What about the song Shiroyama?
That's the Japanese one. I like that video. And as we're speaking, I'm sorry if I'm slow in responding. I'm trying to give you the link to their YouTube channel where they have a historian and they talk to them about all their singles from their album.
Okay.
They don't do every track, but they do what the singles are. And the historian that does the talking with them, he actually has his own histories channel on YouTube. But yeah, give me a moment. I'm still trying to find. I found one with the. I can't say that Japanese word, and unlike Pacific.
Shiroyama.
Yeah, I'm not going to butcher it.
Okay.
Not going to have the Japanese come looking for me.
By the way, if anyone from the Nashville Alcoholics Anonymous is listening, I have it on good authority that Phil was actually there at Nashville, but he was undercover.
Was the undercover brother?
Yeah. So you guys need to be looking for Phil too, because he got the drunkest out of all of us.
I was wasted. I never did get your thoughts on The Last Stand.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I said, that's the one Sabaton song I had already heard through a cover version that Dan Vask had done, and I liked his version, and so I pretty much already knew what to expect, and yeah, it was great. Although it is not my favorite Sabaton song. That one is honestly a three-way tie between Winged Hussars, Shiroyama, and Blood of Bannockburn.
That's cool.
And just as a side note, all of the different metal songs from all the bands that I've been listening to lately, I've set aside a special playlist for the ones that just have that little bit of extra punch in the beginning, and now that's the music I listen to when I play Mario Kart.
Okay, it's easy. That's all you have to do on YouTube is type in Sabaton history, and you'll get the guy and members of the band, and they talk about their song.
Okay.
Like I said, they might talk about 3 or 4 songs off the album. They won't talk about all of them, so I guess it'll be too much for anybody to go into details. But yeah, they have a real historian, and then he'll talk to them and ask them why they did this song and why they chose it. So
Okay.
they go really in depth. So.
Alright, so gotta do this stuff now. Alright, so let's sharpen my stuff.
I wonder where Cash Money is hiding.
Who knows? He probably could sense somehow in the Force that I have made a redhead character, and he's like, I'm probably gonna stay away from fandomology today because I don't want to hear it from Phil. Even though today I have assumed the identity of Phil, and I'm going to make the name Phil McCracken no longer be symbolized by chaos.
Good luck with that.
Fair enough. Alright.
So Yingwei Mousing's on tour and should be in the Virginia area. You might be able to go there, Paul, and bring a bunch of donuts, as a gift for him, and maybe he will compliment you in a nice way.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't think I would ever. I don't think I would be allowed to even get close to him because I'm sure there's some form of like special backstage pass you have to buy that's super expensive. And personally, as far as my first metal show goes, Ingve is not the first person I want to go see. The first metal show I actually want to go see is either Striper or Dragon Force. Which, by the way, Phil loves Striper.
Good luck with that.
That door over there is new. I never noticed that, so let's go see what this is. Gallows Hall. Alright. What is Gallows Hall?
Just always remember, Paul, Yngwie Malmsteen does not like donuts.
I know.
And what person in their right mind does not like donuts?
Okay, this is interesting. There's skeletons back there glitching around. Let's see if I can get them to stop. Nah, that ain't gonna happen.
Unlike Cash Money, I think that skeleton, even though he's dead, is still have a thing for redheads.
Yeah. Okay, so this must be, this must be Creation Club stuff, because
It looks like it. Yes, it looks like a Creation Club mission. I forget which one it is.
Though I don't understand why things are
Dreams of the
flying around.
Dead, yes. Dreams of the Dead, that's what it's called. That is a necromancer mission.
Oh crap, did I just get trapped in here?
You can get trapped in it, that's the thing. But at the end of when you complete it, you get a necromancer kind of dungeon house. I think this area becomes your place to live.
Okay, how am I supposed to get out of here if this door's locked?
You gotta complete the mission. And if you don't know it, the only thing I could tell you is you're gonna have to Google what to do. And it's not that hard. You can be done this within 20 minutes. But there's a certain way to complete it. And then you get this option after you get your mission complete. Not only do you get the house and the, things with it, there's one of three things you can click on and think of it like kind of like one of them when you go to the very beginning and you have them four towers.
I see.
Kind of similar. And if you don't like the one you pick, you come back and you pick it again. Look at it bounce. Bounce.
You gotta go?
No, I'm watching it bounce.
Oh.
I don't mean I had to bounce. I was just
Okay.
watching the craft bounce.
Yeah, this is kind of... And the skeleton having a freak out back there?
Yeah, well, technically you haven't got to the part where the poltergeist just starts... Everything starts spinning in the room and all the items start flying around.
Yeah, I haven't gotten there yet, but the fact that things are kind of dreary looking like this...
You see how everything's starting to bounce up and down and all over? It's you're getting the poltergeist. You're going to start getting them more and more, and then, yeah.
Okay, how do I put something in the holder if I can't activate it? This doesn't exactly help. Something wedged inside the hood.
I omit.
Okay, now I'm starting to hear a weird whispering.
Yeah, that's the poltergeist. I'll be honest. It's been a while since I did this mission, and the only way I completed it, Paul, I had to Google it. I had to Google it.
Okay, I can't pick up the staff. It's
Yeah.
okay. I'm getting the sense now that this thing is like screwing with me.
Yes, this is a giant mind game.
Well, so far they're winning.
Yep. The only thing I will tell you, I would pause it right here for a second
I'm looking
and
it up
do a
now.
quick Google.
Okay.
Would say look at a video, but it's for this one. It's best doing the Google walkthrough. And for the record, I don't care who you are or how good you are in Skyrim. There's always one quest you're always going to have to look up.
Well. Okay, 4 torches that are on the pillars. Torch of... Okay, how do I know which one's which? Torch of Morthal, Torch of Falkreath, Torch of the Nightgate Inn, Torch of Fort Dunstad. How do I know which one's which?
That I don't remember. And I don't think these are the torches in your room that you got. I think there's another room you got to get into.
I can't get into any other room.
Alright, my friend. Then you're going to have to find a torch. Any torch. I would stay with the outside torch. Don't mess with the ones in the inner circle. Grab an outside torch. There's one there and there's a second one over there. And see if you can get that and put it on where they tell you to.
Okay. Let me try a different approach. Okay.
I would say for me, just so you know, this was not just a hard quest. This was a frustrating quest.
Yeah, like it's getting me bad.
And unfortunately, you can't say, well, I'll leave, come back later, when my mind's in a better place. No.
You're stuck here.
You're stuck here.
Okay. Also, there's no map. Oh, hold up.
There's a note to your right.
I saw it. Okay, so Morthal. So I was right. I had the right torch here. Falkreath. So that would be this one. Nightgate Inn. I think that's that one. And then Fort Dunstad. Which one's Fort Dunstad again? Where?
I believe up to the north.
Up to the north? This one?
Hold on, go look at your map again. Let's double check the map. Fort Dunstad is in the middle, so you go straight north on your map.
This one?
Yes, that's got to be it.
Okay. Now what?
Now we got to figure out where to put them at.
Okay. The mist will then dissipate. I don't see that. I'm gonna put them all back and start over.
All right.
Okay, so. Or hold
Wow,
on
you
a second.
just moved and that thing just flew right at your character.
I know, I saw it. Okay, so Morthal. Valkyrieth. Nightgate Inn has to be this one. And then Fort Dunstad. I'm gonna look it up for sure. Fort Dunstad is in Dawnstar.
Correct.
My god. Alright, let's put all these back. Okay. So once again, Morthal. Let's try this one. Valkyrieth. Nightgate Inn. Has to be this one. And then that one. No, that is not it.
Well, if I'm correct, I'm not sure if you can put it on that table where the gemstone holders are on the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Go try. See if you can put your torches on there. Oh, there's nothing there.
Negative. So I'm gonna put all these back again. Alright, excuse me, I'm gonna actually watch someone do this.
Okay.
So give me a quick
You gotta do what you gotta do when it comes to Sky.
Yeah.
This, to me, outside the vanilla game, is one of the hardest quests.
Mm-hmm. Wait a minute. That's what it is. Okay. Okay. I'm looking. Let's see what we got. Okay, I think I got it. So it's that one, that one, that one, and then that one. Yes, I was right. Okay, so pick up the fallen staff, staff of worms. Okay, now what? Find a use for the staff.
Notice the torches are a different color now. They're orange.
Yeah?
Sorry, I couldn't be better helpful. It's been a while since I did this.
It's perfectly fine. Examine the raised skeleton. Mark Necromancer's key. Search the safe. The second clue. Okay. Ooh, that's an interesting helmet. So I gotta pray to a shrine. So, Shrine of Vermina.
Give me a moment, Paul. I'm going to run real quick and grab a drink.
Go ahead. I gotta watch more. Oh, okay, I get it now. I know what I gotta do. Again, that skeleton is freaking out back there. So I don't know if that's where I need to go. Alright, so that's one. Let's see. Not quite.
I have returned.
He is back. And Cobra Disney Jedi saying here, remember, cheat codes are your best friend. That is true, but I want to try and do this without cheating. Even though I kind of already am. Alright, where is... So I found one of the gems, I just gotta find the second and third one now. Where is it? You don't remember anything, do you, Phil?
Been a while. I would say search inside the coffin.
I'm trying, but...
Jump. I think there's one above you. One of them coffins above you. See them ones up.
Oh, there's no way I'm gonna get that. Yeah,
The
there's...
skeleton in that corner, in that cubby hole, is going through some spasm.
Yeah, and I tried getting as close to him as I could. There's no way I was gonna reach him, so he doesn't have one. Alright, let me pull back up that one, thing. Okay, so I need to go there. Alright, so that's two. I need to... There we go. We got it. Okay.
If I remember correctly, after everything's said and done, search that dead body. I think it gives you something.
No, it doesn't. I have everything. So let's investigate what's down below. Okay.
It's like a house.
Not too bad.
They call it the necromancer house. They have another name for it, but pretty much that's what.
Now let's try this helmet on real quick. See what this looks like. It's gonna make my long hair disappear, but you know what? Whatever. I don't know.
You know what? Save it, and then when Crit comes on, you can run around and say you're Godzilla.
Yes. Alright, well, yeah, I have a house already. Just started this playthrough and I have a house. After an absolute mind trip of a mission.
Yeah, this one is probably the most frustrating quest there is in Skyrim.
It was still kind of fun, though. Now...
I still like the vampire house. The vampire house in the cave.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be unlocking that as soon as I can.
For money making, it's that one farm I told you by, what was the name of that town?
Of course.
Workstead, yeah.
Yeah, but then again, I don't generally care for farming, so we're just gonna leave that alone.
What do you have against farmers?
What do I have against farmers? Nothing. I'm just not cut out for the lifestyle.
You don't like milking cow?
I've never done it. Not all of us from Virginia are farmers, Phil.
Disappointing me. You're disappointing me, Paul.
Oh yeah? Are you a farmer?
Am I a farmer? No, but I have been to the Amish and they taught me how to milk a cow.
I never had that luxury.
That's how you meet milkmaids. That's a dying breed. They don't exist anymore. They have a machine now that does it.
Yeah, that's
but the Amish still have people that milk the cow.
And then here's the other one. I don't know. That one's looks a little better. Not quite as edgy as the other one, but it's still not my thing.
I would put your helmet away in one of the things, but yeah, when Crit comes on, you can put that dino helmet on, and hey, look, Crit.
By the way, Matsuine, I'm sorry I didn't catch you earlier, but hello in the chat. Thanks for joining.
No more.
So Phil, let's
Yep.
talk. Let's talk this now. And I know what you're gonna say the moment I ask this question, but I'm bringing it up for actually a serious reason. The whole "what does God need with a starship" thing. Naturally, your response is, say it with me, anything he wants. Exactly. But you know why he really said that, right?
Yeah, because he didn't really think it was God.
Exactly. And that is a legitimate question. What would an all-powerful God need with a starship? Like, put aside all questions of obedience and loyalty. That's
Okay.
a given.
But ask yourself this. I mean, it's just, you can use the same questions if you want it for thought. Why did God need the Virgin Mary?
Because Jesus Christ had to be fully human in order to be the perfect sacrifice.
There you go. There's the correct answer. But technically, he could have just appeared and say, "Here I am," and did the same thing. But he had to go through the whole process of what it's like to be a human. You know,
Exactly.
go through childbirth, go through uh, growing up. He had to experience all that. You know, to show that if he lived the life as a human being and still was able to do the things he did, you know, God understands. And to prove the point that he understands, he showed us he did it as a human being.
Hmm.
Though he was still divine, don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
But he did it as a human being.
But again, the whole idea of what does God need with a starship, that's pretty much why would an all divine God need a starship to escape where he was from, thus exposing the fact that he was not truly God. That's what Kirk was getting at there. And sure,
Yeah.
we joke anything he wants, but for those that didn't realize we were joking, I wanted to set the record straight. That's really what that scene is about.
Totally. He already caught on that this isn't right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he went there feeling it wasn't right. But then when he got there and the things being said, yeah, he knew.
Yeah. He doubts me. Bring the ship closer. Excuse me, I just like to ask a question. What does God need with a starship?
I think Bones' responses to that whole entire thing was perfect. Jim, what are you doing?
I'm asking a question.
Jim, you don't ask the Almighty for an ID.
Who is this creature? I mean, don't you know? Aren't you God? Then here is the proof you seek. Also, hashtag Spock should have been an only child.
I'll agree with that.
If you want to have... But here's the thing, though. The idea of Cybok by himself works. But there was no reason to make him actually related in any way to Spock. At most, he should have been like a school rival or something.
I could say that.
Like,
yeah.
Like,
I could see
like
that.
the neighbor kid next door, perhaps, you could say.
Like a Cash Money who's your ultimate rival.
Perhaps. And hello, Pacific414, who said, did Phil manipulate you into playing this? No, he didn't, actually. This was a choice of my own, honestly, because I was already missing it.
He's just upset that you're not breaking out the GoBots and playing some GoBot. Unfortunately, since it was a cheap knockoff, they don't have their own game.
Are you going to come in here and rebuttal that, Pacific? And butcher some Japanese names for Phil?
You have to understand, even if he wants to, it takes him a half hour just to get his mic all ready.
Yeah. Ooh, we actually have the Dragonborn in the chat. Literally someone with the username Dovahkiin. And forgive me if I butcher this, but he says in the Dragonton, Fin Dovahkiin los dal ra tinvak do rivak. I have no idea what that means. but it's cool that you're here.
Translation: whoever that guy named Pacific is sounds pretty lame to me.
You say, don't you get started on that, Paul. What? What? GoBots? That was Phil doing that.
Yeah, well, I got news for you. There's nothing to see here. Last thing the Black Briars need is some stranger sticking their nose where it doesn't belong. The Black Briars have Riften in their...
I think you have to come clean and let Pacific know before he gets confused, because he can get confused quite easily. That today you're Phil McCracken.
Oh yeah, by the way, Pacific, I botched my intro and accidentally introduced myself as Phil, so I've been cursed.
Pleasure doing business with you. So what do you want to know? You kidding? My brother Dirge works in your high...
Also, by the way, Phil, because Pacific is in the chat, leave the ivy at Wrigley Field alone. It's iconic.
If you want to get in on that action, find Brynjolf in the
But the lives of outfielders everywhere who have lost their lives due to the ivy.
No one cares about outfielders anyways, unless they're like really good at batting. Everyone cares about the pitcher, the catcher, and the three bases.
Dark Brother and the Thieves Guild. So basically, no one can touch her. Just remember,
Outfielders' lives matter.
you damn well better do exactly what she says. The only thing I heard is a rumor that a...
Do you have anything to say about that, Pacific? Do outfielders' lives matter, or are they disposable?
You get him discombobulated, he'll never get as much work.
Hello, there you are. Finally, it was hard to find you. I have got a personal delivery for you. Just a moment.
Well,
Here it is.
we're actually 3.5 more months, and it's Christmas.
That's all. Bye.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, it's coming quick.
I'm already seeing Halloween decorations and Halloween costumes in Walmart.
You have my permission. You can call him Wally World.
Yeah, I do sometimes call them that.
Have you guys started to get Target yet?
Not in my town, but we have one nearby in Harrisonburg and Front Royal.
It's a nice difference. It's good to have both, because I like to feel sometimes of what how Target is different than Walmart.
Yeah, Target is pretty cool. What's that background noise I keep hearing with you? Did someone...
Background noise is now me.
Oh.
Yeah, that hideous guy that you invited to our, live stream.
Because I wanted to know his thoughts. Do outfielders matter?
Outfielders do matter. If they aren't out there, you have guys hitting inside the park home runs all the time. And despite what Phil likes to say about the ivy at Wrigley Field, it's beautiful. You should go to Wrigley someday, Phil, and embrace the ivy.
I don't want to get poison ivy.
Or better
That's
yet,
okay.
or better yet, pick some of the ivy leaves and smoke them, Phil.
Or better yet, take a lighter to it and some fluid and let's watch it burn.
I could say something, but then it'd be on the political lines, and I don't want to make it political.
Yeah, that would be in poor taste.
Yep.
Just so you know, I'm not very much into politics. I hate politics.
I do too. But anyways, though,
I'm your friendly neighborhood libertarian.
yes, named Paul tonight, and my name is Phil.
Yeah.
And
Yes, you're having an identity crisis.
yes, and right now we're talking to Pacific 007. And
AKA Cash Money.
no, Cash Money 404 is not here right now.
Yeah, he's going to be Cash Money, and Cash Money is going to be Pacific.
And
No, I'm not falling into this trap. I'm not falling into this trap.
it's okay. But wait, Cash already has an alter ego. It's Cash McCracken, remember?
It's okay because
Well,
we can
good for Cash McCracken. I'd hate to be related to Phil, but hey,
But anyways, though, for real, Pacific, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing alright.
Oh my
Well,
God,
watching the
my game just crashed.
it can't handle the awesomeness that's me. That's what it is.
We'll try booting it up again, but if it crashes again, we're gonna switch to something else. Oh. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna let these mods update in the background, and we'll switch to something else.
Arkham Knight.
No, actually, we're gonna go into Kingdom Hearts 2.
Terrible.
What?
Well, it could be worse. It could be worse. You can be playing Teenage Ninja Turtles, and you can be asked to play Teenage Mutant Turtles.
You know what?
What's wrong with playing Teenage Mutant Ninja
That's
Turtles,
actually
Phil?
a good idea. Pacific, you in?
Yeah, yes, I'm in. That's a great idea.
All right, give me a sec.
Despite what Mr. McCracken says.
I'm always up for some fresh snapper soup.
All right, we'll play
I'll
some.
give you a snapper, Phil.
I'm booting up Cowabunga Collection for the first time. So.
All right.
Alright, so keep in mind, I have never played this game, so you're going to have to walk me through this specifically.
I'm gonna have to carry the load. I get it. I get it.
It's okay. Just so you know, that upvote I gave your stream, I wasn't going to give a downvote, but since you did play some Skyrim, I'm just going to take it off and leave it alone.
Thank you.
I won't downvote you, but I'm not going to give you the upvote. Now, you can get the upvote back if I get my McDonald's coupon.
Phil,
Oh, yeah, drop it with the McDonald's coupons already.
Oh, hell no.
Hell, he's allowed to say that.
Dang. Dang, dang, dang.
Alright, let me get
Alright, so, of the games that we can play online, do you want to play the original arcade game?
Yes.
Okay, that means every time you lose 3 lives, you owe a quarter. Just so you know.
This version of the game doesn't take quarters, thank goodness. Alright. I'm gonna send you an invite.
Alright, so. Online. Alright, so you sent me an invite on Steam?
Yes, I'm in the game right now. I sent you an invite. If you didn't receive it, I will send it again.
Received.
Okay.
And I accept it, so hopefully it doesn't.
Alright.
Okay. We're good.
So,
I'm going to be Donnie.
you want to be Donnie? Okay, I'll be Leonardo.
Alright.
And if you want extra lives, just press the start button.
Cool.
And then press A to begin.
Alright, here we go.
Hang on, April.
Here we go. Just use A and B and the analog stick to move around.
Awesome.
B. Actually, sorry. A and X. A is to jump, X is to kick.
Got it. How How have I already lost a life?
Because this game is one hard game.
Oh, great.
But that's what makes it fun.
Y'all about to see me get frustrated then. So that one Ninja Turtle game that we were playing together, or I was playing with Brandon, that's not part of this, is it?
No, that game was inspired by this game and Turtles in Time.
Okay.
Rodney Roadkills.
Oh, they got me.
That's alright. We got this. Well, just don't stand there, April. Do something. Now we got Rocksteady.
Say your prayers, Doyle.
What did you think, by the way, Pacific, in the live-action movie that that Rocksteady was played by Seamus?
I don't know that he was the right part.
Yeah. Thank you, Jovatine, for subscribing. Greatly appreciate that.
When I think of Seamus, I don't see him as Rocksteady.
Yeah, I only see him as, well, Seamus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, Shredder's got April. Whatever are we going to do?
We're gonna chase him down.
I see it like this. Seamus is your typical Irish redhead, and he's so pasty white that he goes out in the moonlight, he'll get burned. That's how I feel about Seamus.
I remember watching the Tribute to the Troops show that they did in 2017. This was the one that they were actually on a Navy dock and did the show there. And the opening match was the Shield against Samoa Joe, Sheamus, and Cesaro. And this was outside in the middle of the day. And I remember the sailors chanting at Sheamus, "You'll get sunburned."
I remember that. And let's just do it for the record. Sheamus's red hair is not dyed. That is real, bright, legitimate red hair.
Yeah.
Cash Money doesn't like Sheamus, by the way.
Well, let's be honest. Sheamus recently had, I haven't seen it yet, but I heard he had an absolutely match of the year contender match against.
Go ahead and get the pizza, Paul. I'll take care of the foot soldiers.
Yeah, against I refuse to call him Gunther. It's Walter, not Gunther.
Who put the lights up?
Oh no, I got grabbed.
Yeah, I got knocked out by a boomerang.
I
Random
think for
skateboard
the
lady.
last 6 years, 7 years,
Watch this.
but Sheamus has been underutilized by the
100%. And don't get me wrong, as a tag team with Cesaro, he was great. That team was amazing. But Sheamus should have honestly been world champion more than he was. And I think part of that to why he's been underutilized is because the fans got so upset that he beat Daniel Bryan for the title at WrestleMania in 18 seconds. Which remind me, Pacific, was that...
Watch out, watch out, watch out.
Oh, okay. That was not the WrestleMania that you were there for, was it? It was WrestleMania 29.
No. Exactly. WrestleMania 29 in New Jersey at MetLife Stadium.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything that you do in New Jersey, you tend to forget.
Who put the lights out?
But I am curious,
Oh,
Pacific, when
My
you
mom went to nursing school in Jersey City. You never forgot it.
You are dead.
But she got out of there, right?
Getting any prettier.
She didn't
Oh,
stay
she-
in there.
She spent the first 5 years of her career in Jersey City before moving to California.
Oh, I don't blame her. I would have moved out of New Jersey as quick as I could. If I was an infant, I would crawl.
Now, I do want to ask you this, Pacific. What did you think when you first saw that squash match between Sheamus and Daniel Bryan?
I'll say it the PG way. I thought it was BS.
Okay. Now let me ask you this. Suppose instead of them going for 18 seconds, they went for 18 minutes, and Sheamus still won. Do you think people would...
It would have been one heck of a match. People don't go to WrestleMania to see a squash match. If they want to see a squash match, they'll go to a live event taping that isn't WrestleMania or a major pay-per-view and watch it there.
Okay.
I mean, how would you feel if you paid, say, the highest ticket there might have been $1,000 for ringside front row, and the first match was a squash match?
Yeah, I mean... It would have sucked, but at the same time, I would have looked at it personally of it could have been worse. At least it's the first match that's a squash and not, say, the main events.
You know, sometimes that was done, and the reason it was done is because someone is in the process of either leaving or is leaving, and they're obligated, let me say, to one live show and let's say a couple house shows, and then they're out.
Well,
Yeah, but Daniel Bryan wasn't leaving.
No,
yeah.
no.
And,
That was
and
weird.
here's the thing, neither was Kofi when Brock squashed him for the title on the first SmackDown on Fox.
Mm-hmm.
See, that was the weird thing, because I actually thought, well, maybe Daniel Bryan's leaving and they wanted to do a quick fast, get him out of there, be done. Yeah, I've seen that done before numerous times. But, yeah, like you guys are saying, Daniel Bryan didn't go anywhere. So, the whole purpose of that fast, quick match, I don't get it.
Yeah. I'll say this, though. If it weren't for that match, we would not have gotten the Yes movement.
True.
That even still kind of continues with Bryan Danielson.
Yep. Can't forget that.
So, speaking of him, do you think... Bryan Danielson obviously doesn't have much time left on his career, given all his injuries. Do you think he's going to finish in AEW, or do you think he will eventually go back to WWE?
I think he'll eventually go back to WWE.
I think he will pull out Edge. I'll retire a couple years later. You get the itch. I want to see what I can do, even though I'm hurt,
Yeah,
and go
But,
back.
but he's already doing that now.
he already
Bill.
is.
Well, you also have to look at it, take the wrestling aside, and look at his personal life. He's married, has a kid, wife's really not doing much right now. I don't know if she got back to wrestling or is still out.
I don't think Brie Bella is ever getting back into wrestling,
Then,
because she's also had bad injuries, too.
yep. So I think at this point,
He might make sporadic appearances, but that's about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think both of the Bella twins, honestly, especially now that both of them have had kids, I think they're done.
yep.
Okay, who is this MODOK one?
Baxter
that's
Stockton.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that guy. And hello in the chat to Leia Rose, thanks for joining.
Hello, Rose.
It would help if this boss had a health bar.
Unfortunately, in the arcade games, none of the bosses have a health bar. You won't actually find a health bar until Turtles in Time for Super Nintendo. The only way that you know that their health is being depleted is when they start flashing. That's just how it was done back in the day.
Okay.
Because this arcade game and the Turtles in Time arcade game were designed to take your quarters. And they did it well.
Got him.
Come and get him, Yell Brain.
I didn't play Teenage Mutant Turtles in the video game arcade. I, at that time, was the one. Warrior, you're about to die. Wizard, you're about to die.
What is that?
I forget the name of that video game, but that was very popular. It even had the 4-way play on it.
Gauntlet.
There you go. Thank you. That one was also designed to take your quarters big time.
A lot of the arcade games back in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s were designed solely to take your quarters. Whether it was a quarter or 50 cents, they still took your quarter.
I was still a fan of the pinball machines. To me, that I remember going to the video arcade, if you want to call it that, and it was pinball machines, air hockey, the basketball hoop thing, and yeah, that was it.
For me,
Air hockey. That was it.
For me, you couldn't beat a good skee ball. Skee ball is my jam. I always play skee ball anytime I go to any sort of arcade.
I used to go into Chuck E. Cheese, of course, before it was Chuck E. Cheese, at least where I lived, it was called Showbiz Pizza, but it was pretty much the same thing. And I would always go to the skee ball and play that for a little bit, get the tickets. If I had enough tickets, I would get my prize. And
You know what I used to hate? Were the people who come up to you while you're playing, and they put their quarters down near you. Not that they were giving it to you. They're trying to lay claim, even though I ain't even done yet. And that person doesn't know if I'm going to put more quarters in to keep on playing.
In that situation, you know what you do? You play with their quarters and be like, hey, thanks for the free game.
yep.
Kids, do not take that advice. That's rude.
And
No, that's real bad advice.
And I know, to me, it's etiquette when you're in an arcade. Don't be one of them kids or person that's just standing there watching and just hawking over top of you while you're playing.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm not talking about a little kid standing there watching you play. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about the ones that are practically looking over your shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that distracts people. It's like causing you to lose or, actually costing you money. I would tell people, look, dude, as soon as I'm done, you can have it, but I'm not done yet, so stand back. I don't want to smell your breath.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yep.
I hate that at work when someone's standing over my shoulder. It's like, can I help you with something?
Same here.
The funny thing is, a lot of girls do not like to go into the arcade. So if you had a girlfriend and you're in the arcade, the only reason she would come in there was practically to yank you out.
Not the girls I knew.
Let's move it.
They would literally come in here, are you done yet? I want a pizza. Oh, you don't want to say, oh, sorry, I spent all the change on the, on the video game. Friday and Saturday nights were the big thing to go to the mall.
Yeah.
That's when malls were popular.
Yeah, back then. I wish to a certain degree that still was the case, but now online shopping has ruined that.
Yep. Very few malls left.
And the
You've
ones
been
that
sitting in-
and very few of the ones that are there are actually worth a crap.
You'd be sitting at the food court, and hopefully your mall had a great food court. Mine did. But yeah, you'd be sitting at your table, and your girlfriend be hanging with her friend at another table, and you'd be like, okay, so I'll go play the arcade. And then that's when she notices you're gone, and then she'll come in there. Oh yeah, can you come out back out here? I'll say okay. But if you're gonna go sit at that table with them all day, and then I'm gonna go back and play with my friends on the arcade.
Right. Here's
And-
something I don't understand though. Why does the Foot Clan explode?
Because they're robots. In the original 87 cartoon, they were robots and not humans. This
Oh.
way they can get away with, you know,
Beating people
quote
up,
unquote,
basically?
killing them. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh crap, I'm down to my last life.
So which one?
Let's start.
Oh, I didn't realize you could hit start anytime and do that. Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Insert more coins.
Hold up. We have a special guest appearance, by the way.
Okay.
Oh.
Jonathan just popped in.
Hello there.
Hey, Jonathan.
I just came in here to ask PJ a question. I didn't even mean to do this.
Well, you get more than you pay for.
And pay anything.
Exactly. But what's up?
Where did you put my case that has the Switch games in it?
I left that with the Switch.
Told me it was somewhere downstairs.
The individual games are next to the phone in the kitchen, but I left the case itself with the Switch.
So the games themselves.
Yes.
Alright.
No problem.
Paul's hiding the case so that way he can play the Switch later on without having anybody know that.
I don't want any of the half the games that Jonathan has. Either they don't interest me, aka Minecraft, or I have them already.
Blasphemy! You don't like Minecraft.
It's boring, especially
I don't
if
like
you're
it
playing
either.
Especially if you're playing it by yourself.
You tried to trigger me or something?
Jonathan literally just heard that. Did you guys hear what he said?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was
Not trying to trigger, just stating facts.
Pacific says not trying to trigger, just stating facts. But I am trying to trigger you. Now get out of here. You're gonna make me lose this game, and I'm gonna do something.
Hey, that's not the Christian way.
You see now, Phil, how I'm able to deal so well with you.
Uh-huh.
Now, just imagine trying to do this on the NES version of the game.
With only that,
Wait.
yeah, no thank you.
Oh, I've done it.
How am I constantly dying?
Because you're getting hit by the bombs. And you're also running into the blades.
I mean, I'm trying to hit this guy.
Paul, do you remember Kurt Angle?
Yes.
Do you remember his theme song?
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, but do you remember
You suck.
Ed put the "You Suck" in there?
Yes.
Well, right now you're doing the "You Suck" in that song right now.
I know, but you have to consider I have never played this game before, so that's kind of to be expected.
You're such a noob.
Well, of the two of us, the only one that's played it is me.
Right.
I mean, I can't fault you. I mean, you weren't born when this game first came out.
Gotta save Splinter.
Wait, they took Splinter?
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
And we got Mousers.
So, who do you? So Pacific. Let me ask you this. I'm asking this as someone that knows next to nothing about the Turtles. Who,
All right.
Who were the bigger threat to the Turtles? The Foot Clan or the Krang?
Well, the 87 series primarily focused on Shredder and Crane and the Foot Soldiers. It wasn't until, I want to say, season 8 that they started shifting gears, but by that time, interest in the series was waning, and so it was a little too late by that time.
Okay.
It's not like in the 2003 series where the Crane were their own thing and, you know, Shredder and the Foot Clan were their own thing.
Be right back, guys.
Okay.
Alright?
So basically, the Krang and the Foot Clan back then were kind of one and the same.
Yeah. For the 87 animated series, yes.
Okay.
Well, in the comics, it's been so long since I've read any of the original comics. I can't really
Oh my god,
tell
how do you
you-
beat these guys?
just jump and kick and try to make contact. And there is a turtle series that a lot of fans like to say doesn't exist, and that's the Next Mutation, because it's horrible.
Okay.
It was done after the original 87 series, and it was basically an attempt to go into live action television, and that show was bad.
Sounds like... Honestly, it sounds like the movies.
Pizza time.
Yes, movies were live action, and if you're gonna watch any of the movies, watch the first one. That has a little bit of the animated 87 series, along with a lot of the comics.
What about the second one, at least?
Secret of the Ooze, that was more geared toward those who watched the animated series, with very little remaining from the first, as far as the comic adaptation was concerned.
Okay. And then...
And we don't speak of the third one.
Okay. What about the 2005 3D animated movie? What'd you think of that one?
That 2007 one, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I watched that one and liked it. And then I want to say in 2012 there was a 3D animated cartoon that aired on Nickelodeon, which that was actually
Yes.
my first introduction to the Turtles, believe it or not.
Yeah, and in that same series, they did have a crossover between the 2012 Turtles and the 87 Turtles. And what I thought was nice when I saw clips from that and eventually watched the episode was that they actually had Rob Paulsen, who was already voicing Donatello for the 2012 series, but they had him, Cam Clark, Barry Gordon, and Townsend Coleman voicing their characters. So Rob Paulsen was pulling double duty as the 2012 Donatello and 87 Raph. Cam Clark was Leonardo. And then you had Barry Gordon as Donatello and Townsend Coleman as Michelangelo.
Wow.
And yes, I am aware of Turtles Forever. I think what would have made that special better is if they paid a little bit more homage to the 87 Turtles by not making them as silly as they were in that special, and if they were able to get the original voice actors come back, but because it was done by a completely different union, they couldn't hire them.
And then what was up with that weird, like, turtle concert that they would do? What was up with that?
Oh, the Turtles. Hold on one second. I'm just concentrating here with the roadkill runnings, but the out of their shells tour, that was basically another cash grab for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I can say I actually went to one of those concerts because it was Ninja Turtles, and I was a big Ninja Turtles fan back in the day. I saw some of the action figures that I was either given for birthdays or Christmas, or ones that I bought myself. If I can dig it out, I do have a Leonardo that is made up to look like Captain Kirk, since Playmates was doing the turtle figures first, and then they started doing, you know, Next Generation figures, DS9 figures, Voyager, original series, the movies.
Okay.
And of course now Playmates is reissuing some of those figures along with coming out with brand new ones, so.
So was the Out of Their Shells concert any good?
It was alright. You know, after the stream I can let you listen to a few of the songs, and I mean, you gotta look at it this way. It was geared toward kids who were, you know, into the Turtles craze. So, you know, the songs aren't anything to really, and I don't mean to be mean on this, but they're not
kids
very
songs.
memorable. Yeah. The
Okay.
only
Oh my-
song that,
Oh wow, that gate actually kills you.
yeah, the only song that has any, you know, memorability to it is Pizza Power.
Oh, I see.
But with this game, I can remember going with my friends to the bowling alley in the town where I lived every Friday. It'd be me, him, and a few others, and we'd go and we'd be playing this game. We'd see our friends there, and they'd be playing. My snack of choice during those nights seemed to be soda and French fries.
Funny.
And I can even remember going to field trips to the bowling alley because, you know, that was just an activity they would have for us, at least back when I went to elementary school. And, you know, if there were kids bowling, where were they? They were playing this game or some of the other games like Pit Fighter and Pinball, of course. There was a Double Dragon arcade game there.
Okay.
And now it's Crane the All-Powerful. I have never been defeated. You blasted turtles are trying to destroy my Technodrome.
That's just my bad impression of Crane.
No, that's actually pretty good. Reminds me a little bit of your Starscream.
Well, you know, find those characters that kind of whine and grumble and. Well, it was good until he kicked me.
Yeah. Now, speaking of Turtles 2, Super Shredder, wasn't he played by Kevin Nash?
Yes, Kevin Nash was played by Kevin Nash. I'm sorry for being a smarty.
Sorry. But still.
Yes, he was in that movie, and you also had the Ninja Rap by Vanilla Ice. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go! Hey, that song was a hit for Turtle fans. I don't know how high on the charts it ever got, but
At least, hey, as long as someone likes it. Now, what's the story with Krang and this big, I'm guessing, skin suit he's wearing?
well, the backstory that they gave in the first episode of the 87 series is that he was thrown out of Dimension X into Earth, and his body was ripped away from him.
Huh. I see. Have I heard of the 10th anniversary edition of Dragon Ball? Yes, in fact, that was the version I was playing earlier, Dovahkiin, was the anniversary edition. Just a heavily modded version of it. So, I definitely like it. Whoa!
Yeah, and be careful, don't let his mutagen raid hit you, otherwise he turns you back into an ordinary turtle.
Which one's the real one?
That's what you gotta find out. Ah, he got me again.
I think he got us both.
He got me again. Alright. Stop attacking the ones with the helmets off and attack this one that I'm attacking.
Got it.
If the ones with the helmets off get in the way, well, there's nothing you can do about it.
Oh, he got us both.
These blasted turtles!
Although, did you know that James Avery, the actor who played Uncle Phil on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, was the voice of Shredder?
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Now let me ask you this: what did you think of the Batman versus the Ninja Turtles thing?
I actually watched it and I thought it was pretty good. I liked how they brought the two universes together.
Yeah. Maybe one Animation Friday will cover it.
Alright. Break the Foots, Mangle the Mousers, and Total the Technodrome. That's
turtle
power. But what about Shredder and Crane? Burned to toast, vaporized to milkshake, or escaped to Dimension X? Until we know,
That's not
none of us can sleep safely in our beds. Shells.
That's not how you spell dimension. But I don't think they
Well-
cared back then.
Back then, spelling errors were abundant.
Yeah. But still, that was
And
fun.
don't cause an international incident when you misspell Japanese name.
But still, that was fun.
Yeah. What I've
So-
talked about with Cash is I would love to play this game with 4 people.
Yeah, count me in as one of them, now that I've played
Okay.
it. But I think for now, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for the night.
Alright.
So, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. And just remember, everyone, we are Fandomology, where fandoms collide.